It's ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, this is CoreTV Primetime News with Nifemi Oguntoye. In our major story, gunmen kill 15 and injure 30 in bomb and gun attack on Federal College of Education in Kano. Also in this program, Senate calls for the immortalization of Nigeria's Ebola heroine Dr. Stella Adadefo. Nigerians call for pardon of convicted soldiers sentenced to death over mutiny. And outside Nigeria, Ukraine begins screening for civil servants over loyalty. We'll begin tonight in Kano State, where the relative peace has been shattered with a bomb and gun attack in the ancient city. At least 15 people have been confirmed dead when gunmen struck at the Federal College of Education. The casualties include the two bombers who were part of the attackers. The police confirmed that 30 others were also injured during the attack. This is the second bomb attack on a school in Kano in almost 2 months. Meanwhile, the police authorities have confirmed that the two gunmen who were behind the bomb and gun attack in Kano were shot dead. Spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu says in a statement issued in Abuja that the gunmen first detonated IEDs in a lecture hall at the Federal College of Education before opening fire on students. He added that 15 bodies had been recovered from the scene, while 34 injured persons are receiving treatment. Police personnel have since sealed the scene of the bomb and gun attack and commenced investigation. President Goodluck Jonathan has commended the prompt action of the police in confronting the perpetrators of Wednesday's bomb and gun attack in Kano. He also commiserated with the residents on the loss of lives recorded when insurgents attacked the Federal College of Education in the city. Speaking through his spokesman, Ruben Abati, the president assured the citizenry of government's readiness to enhance the ability of the security forces to take on terrorists. He urged security personnel to be even more alert and proactive in the future to stop terrorist attacks in Kano and other parts of the country. The police have arrested 89 persons in a village in Kebbi after a mob attacked a police station. The mob action was in response to the rescue of one Adamu Gaya, a Nigerian who was suspected of involvement in a ritual murder. A police team saved the suspect from lynching, and in response, the villagers attacked the police station. Police spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu confirmed the development and revealed that the mob burnt 2 police vehicles and 9 motorcycles. Also smashed were the white screens of 4 cars parked in the premises. He added that the villagers also burnt the official residence of the divisional police officer during the violence that claimed at least 4 lives. Reactions have started to trail the recent seizure and arrest of a private jet and 2 Nigerians and an Israeli in possession of $9.3 million on board the aircraft. against the backdrop of claim by the federal government that the seized plane was a legal mission to source for arms. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has called for clarification on the issue. Falana, who also decries the link of the aircraft to the president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Ayo Rishujafu, described the entire development as unfortunate and a shame on Nigeria.
Something just happened 2 days ago in South Africa. $9.3 million was smuggled from Nigeria to South Africa. Again, the plane that was used for that illegal operation is said to be owned by the president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Ayo Rishujafu. Efforts have been made, this is very important for all of us. Efforts have been made to play on our collective intelligence by saying that that plane has been leased to another company by Reverend Rishujafu. We have never been told that the pastor has the right under the law to turn his plane to a kapu and rent it out. For be that as it may, up to now, we have not been told who rented the plane. The government attempted yesterday, the federal government, very embarrassingly, to say that, oh, the federal government is involved in the deal, that fund was sent to South Africa to buy weapons. Of course, since we are fighting Boko Haram, everything goes. But please, we want to ask them, if a government, a legitimate government, is going to buy ammunition in any part of the world, why must you hire two private people whose identity we don't know yet, and an Israeli to do that for you, when you have the Ministry of Defense and two ministers in that ministry? Who gave out that contract? But that is not where I'm going. Under the Nigerian Money Laundering Act of 2011, any amount being taken out of Nigeria must be declared at the airport. The sum of $9.3 million was not declared by anybody.
The conviction of 12 Nigerian soldiers for mutiny is not hitting the right chord with some legal practitioners in the country. Two Lagos-based lawyers, Festus Keyamo and Malaki Ogumadu, have called on President Goodluck Jonathan to use his position to review the death sentence passed on the 12 soldiers. Though they conceded that the soldiers, like their colleagues, are aware of the rules of engagement binding their profession, they want the president to implore the military authorities to pardon the soldiers.
Were they justified, the authorities, to arrest them and charge them for whatever they want to charge for mutiny? I think they were justified. The authorities were justified, because under no circumstance, even under civilian circumstances, should you shoot at your commander. You can carry your protest out, you can march on the streets. I will even march with the soldiers if they do that, to draw public attention to their problems. But to carry out arms and shoot at their commander in a bid to kill him, nobody will accept that. Having said that, also, the punishment is not commensurate with the crime. The punishment that has been meted out to these soldiers is extremely unjust, it is harsh, and it's unacceptable. You can't, of course, sentence them to death when, in the first place, nobody died in the process.
Now, the nitty-gritty of the sentence of death by firing squad by the court-martial remains a subject of law and legal interpretation. We have had very senior lawyers in this country who have opined that that verdict cannot stand if subjected to the crucibles of an appeal. And the reason is simple. Under the section of the Nigerian Armed Force Act Section 51, subsection 1, you cannot have a conviction for what those people did because there was no death. The insurrection or mutiny, as they called it, did not lead to death, and you couldn't possibly have a punishment that attract punishment beyond what the law provides. And from that standpoint alone, and as a lawyer, you will agree with me that there are already issues.
Religious leaders across religion and ethnic divide have harped on the essence of unity in Nigeria and the need for politicians not to split the country on the basis of their belief. This was the position of the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria and that of the Islamic Ummah during the 8-day Fidal prayer for late Imam of Oshogbo, Sheikh Mustapha Ajishafe. They also condemned activities of the Boko Haram insurgents and seek leniency for the 12 soldiers convicted recently by the nation's army authorities. Rashid was there and filed in this report.
Gatherings like this prayer session is not common, especially when it parades people of different faith. In a country overwhelmed by religious and ethnic tendencies, these spiritual leaders are quick to set the record straight, especially on the unity of the nation.
I'm here on behalf of the CAN chairman and all the executive of Christian Association of Nigeria and the Christian community at large, just to show our love and to show the unity that has been existing between us for many years.
We are now telling the politicians to stop dividing us. Religion is one, and we are here to serve God that created us. So any way you go through to serve that God is accepted through your own faith. So Islam is Islam, Christianity is Christianity. We all serve one but only one God.
Standing on the premise of national unity, which makes soldiers, irrespective of their faith, fight Boko Haram for national interest, this legal practitioner and Islamic cleric Lukman Olagunju says the recent conviction of 12 soldiers will not defeat Boko Haram, but emboldened, if not reversed. Adangba also added his voice to the issue.
If the FD says we should kill these soldiers, that is not going to play any role on Boko Haram. So the FD should not think by doing that, then they will be appealing to the minds of the Boko Haram to lay down arms and ammunition. That is not going to work. It's going to be a case of many losses already. So I support the general outcry of people in the society that even though these people are guilty, they are due for execution. There are situations you temper justice with mercy.
You can only plead leniency for them because it has some attachments that is not clear to every one of us. But those are the heads of affairs, they know that what really happened to make those people perpetrate those atrocity is well known to them. So they should not, because they have nobody. Those soldiers have nobody, impound them and make the law work on them in totality. God himself is lenient in some ways.
Even as they pray for the repose of the soul of the late Sheikh Ajishafe, the clerics are also hoping that President Goodluck Jonathan would hearken to their pleas and save the 12 soldiers from death row. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
Still to come on CoreTV Primetime News, PDP governors endorsed President Goodluck Jonathan for 2015. Find out more on these and other stories after this time out. Don't go away.
This needs precision. Yes! Got to get her home before her curfew.
My dad!
Uh-oh, got to get her home fast. If we cut across 3 streets in 3 minutes and speed across the market in 2, should make it to the
Can we make it?
If we take the stairs at 30 seconds per flight, we just might. Yes! Made it in time. Mission accomplished.
Get everyday energy fast with Lucozade Boost.
As a doctor, I've seen lots of mothers. Now, I'm one myself. Other mothers have taught me things only a mother could know. But when it came to relieving their baby's pain and fever, many mothers don't know what to do. So I told them about Panadol Children. Panadol Children is fast and effective, and it can be taken from when they're 3 months old. I'm still learning to be a mother, and it's getting better every day. New Panadol Children, fast and effective relief from pain and fever.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Welcome back. Governors elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party have resolved to back President Goodluck Jonathan for a second term in office. This is the outcome of the several hours of deliberation in Abuja. Chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Godswill Akpabio, briefed journalists on the decisions reached at the meeting. We'll bring you details of that story subsequently. The Nigerian authorities insist that the country's entry points are now better manned to prevent the incursion of Ebola. President Goodluck Jonathan gave the assurance in a rare interview with State House correspondents. He also hailed Lagos and Rivers State governments for cooperating with the federal authorities to contain the disease.
There's one thing that the whole country came together, worked together. There were no issues of politics, there were no issues of religion, there was no issues of ethnicity. And that's why we've been able to contain the Ebola. If the whole Nigeria did not agree and work, we wouldn't have succeeded. I must also use the opportunity to thank all the governors, because I met with all the governors and their various commissioners for health, and all the states set up machineries to manage the Ebola, if at all comes up. And I have to specifically appreciate the governor of Lagos State and the governor of Rivers State that we have incidents of Ebola, how they worked with the federal government to manage the situation. Presently, there is no Ebola case in Nigeria. Nobody in Nigeria has Ebola now. All the people that had the symptoms of Ebola have recovered. We lost, out of the 19, we lost 7. And the others have recovered. Yes, there are few people who are still observing. I'm not also saying that we may not record Ebola again, as long as Ebola is still in the West Coast. Guinea, it is there in Guinea-Conakry, it is there in Liberia, it is there in Sierra Leone. The likelihood that a character like of the late Sawyer may come in through one way or the other is also open. But government is also very mindful of that. Presently, our airports are properly protected. If Sawyer were to arrive in Nigeria now, no Nigerian could have contacted Ebola because of the level of preparation.
In a related issue, Nigeria has been free of the Ebola virus disease in the last 1 week. Health Minister Onyebuchi Chukwu disclosed this after this week's Federal Executive Council meeting. He also gave an update on some of the suspected cases, as well as the number of people under observation.
Nigeria has for 1 week now had no single case of Ebola virus disease. So presently, as we speak, there is nobody suffering from Ebola virus disease in Nigeria, and it has been so for the last 1 week. Within the week, however, there was a suspected case, a student from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. But we've concluded all investigations. She was Ebola negative. She's never had any Ebola virus disease. So Ile-Ife, there's no problem there. There's no incident of Ebola virus disease, and nobody is being placed under surveillance in Osun State. So Nigeria has monitored 517 persons, no problems after 21 days. This is total number that we've removed from our surveillance. Of these 517 contacts, 347 were under surveillance in Lagos State, while 164 were in Rivers State and 6 in Enugu. As you already know, there's no problem in Enugu State at all. Nobody there is under any kind of surveillance for Ebola virus disease.
In the meantime, the Senate wants the federal government to immortalize the late Ameyo Adadevo for her role in stemming the tide of Ebola virus in the country. The lawmakers noted that if she had not personally restrained the late Liberian-American Patrick Sawyer, he would have ended up spreading the virus in the larger community. The Senate also hailed the leadership displayed by the President, Goodluck Jonathan, and Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola in containing the disease.
The deadly Ebola virus crept into Nigeria while the Senate was on recess. Now, within days of resumption, senators are speaking in government's efforts to contain the disease that has killed over 2,000 people in West Africa in only 3 months. The motion was moved by Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, but enjoyed the backing of virtually all senators who signed up as co-sponsors. One after the other, they commended the roles played by the federal government and Lagos State in containing the disease.
As soon as this thing came up, the Lagos State government set up a committee that went around the miracle centers, the churches, to tell them, to plead with them, not to accept anybody in the name of performing miracle. If the Lagos government had not done that, and if the miracle centers did not take to this caution, probably today it would have been a very, very big disaster. So we really need to commend the Lagos State government for being so proactive.
With unity, we can fight and win any battle in this country, including battle against poverty and insurgency. Because of the leadership roles played by Mr. President and the Governor of Lagos and all officials connected with this fight against Ebola in our country.
And now that Nigeria has no new case of Ebola, at least one senator says the time is ripe to allocate funds for research.
1976, 38 years ago. So what happened between that time and the second one? It was not because something was found for the cure, but it went away just for it to come back in a more devastating manner. So for us to prevent future occurrence, we should start from now in allocating money for research in our various university teaching hospitals and other research agencies, so that by the time, we don't pray it comes again, but if it does, at least we will be battle ready to face the scourge.
After the speeches, Senate President David Mark summed up the views of the federal lawmakers by supporting the call for the government to honor the late Dr. Ameyo Adadevo and others who died saving Nigeria from Ebola.
I think we can't thank Dr. Adadevo enough, because she went out of her way beyond anybody's expectation to control Patrick Sawyer, who would have otherwise done havoc much beyond our imagination. And I think the nation would do well to honor her, and indeed other workers in the health industry who sacrifice their personal lives just to make sure that the rest of us are alive.
The Senate consequently urged the government to immortalize the late Dr. Adadevo, demanded better surveillance at all ports of entry. And before adjourning, senators honored all the health workers who died in the course of battling Ebola virus with a minute of silence.
May the soul of Dr. Adadevo and the souls of all those who lost their lives as a result of the Ebola virus disease rest in perfect peace.
The Nigerian Bar Association has urged the federal government to ensure that necessary measures are put in place to check the possible spread of Ebola virus before schools resume. NBA President Augustine Alege argued that without the required equipment on ground, schools should remain closed. He spoke while inaugurating a 5-man NBA committee on boards and parastatals.
But under what conditions would they resume? We cannot wave off the scourge of Ebola as though it is non-existent. And what is critical and what should be done is that steps should be put in place by government to be 100% or at least 99.9% certain that every precaution is taken. If you go to most homes in Nigeria today, as you open the front door, you will see a table with a sanitizer on top. So you can sanitize your hand before you enter. If we are all satisfied and we are all made aware of the steps and precautionary measures that have been put in these schools, I believe that the issue of resumption on Monday the 22nd, nobody will complain. I don't think the teachers have been lazy. And I don't think those parents like me who are worried are being unnecessarily afraid. But we need to be 100% certain that the precautionary efforts and the precautionary measures set out by the Federal Ministry of Health and the various state ministries of health have been implemented fully in the schools.
The World Bank has approved a $105 million grant to help finance ongoing efforts to contain Ebola virus epidemic in Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. A statement from the bank shows that Liberia will receive $52 million as the country with the highest number of infections, while $28 million goes to Sierra Leone and $25 million to Guinea. The grant, which is part of World Bank's $200 million Ebola Emergency Mobilization Initiative, is to be used to strengthen essential public healthcare systems in the three worst affected countries, as well as guard against future outbreak of the disease. According to the president of the World Bank Group, Jim Young Kim, the grant is an important part of a coordinated UN and WHO-led international response that will have a long-term development impact with the West African region. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund has disbursed 135 billion naira as intervention fund to all tertiary institutions in the country. A breakdown shows that each university is to get 912 million naira, while individual polytechnic is to receive 661 million naira. Minister of Education Ibrahim Shekarau disclosed this at a two-day TED Fund annual strategic planning workshop in Abuja.
Each university is receiving the sum of 912 million. In normal intervention. Don't ask me what about the abnormal one. If there is any, ask the chairman. I don't know about that. Each polytechnic is receiving the sum of 661 million. While each college of education is to receive the sum of 581 million. This, I'm sure you agree with me, is a very remarkable increase, and I enjoin the beneficiaries to effectively and transparently apply for the funds. It should be noted, therefore, that these interventions are a supplementary to normal annual budgetary provisions for each institution by the federal and state governments. I wish to stress that the TED Fund intervention must be properly prioritized and applied to projects that directly add value to teaching and learning and to postgraduate training for academic staff as well as to research and scholarly publications.
The wife of the Lagos State Governor, Abimbola Fashola, has tasked Nigerian women on the need to forge a common front on issues of national importance. Speaking in her capacity as the chairperson of the Committee of Wives of Lagos State government officials, Fashola wants the women to realize that as mothers of the nation, they have a major role to play in the leadership of the country.
Council would get to a global level where when you're talking about women who come together collectively, women are able to forge ahead, women are able to work together, because the story out there is that women don't work together. So my projection is that council will be the signature that you would use in talking about women who come together from different spheres of life and are focused and determined to improve their community.
Who was speaking ahead of the 14th Annual National Women Conference organized by the committee, also revealed that they are committed to the safe return of the abducted Chibok girls.
But what has happened is that if you look at the trend when Chibok girls happened and up till date, when people do rallies and people do advocacy, they have pegged it as APC. So, and really, if there's no alternative to the rallies and the campaigns and the advocacies and all that, we really do not need to lend our voice than to continue to pray and beg God for God to look for a solution for us.
You're watching CoreTV Primetime News live from Lagos. We'll take another break now and return with business news. Stay with us.
As a doctor, I've seen lots of mothers. Now, I'm one myself. Other mothers have taught me things only a mother could know. But when it came to relieving their baby's pain and fever, many mothers don't know what to do. So I told them about Panadol Children. Panadol Children is fast and effective, and it can be taken from when they're 3 months old. I'm still learning to be a mother, and it's getting better every day. New Panadol Children, fast and effective relief from pain and fever.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Hello there and welcome to Business News with me, Sabena Izuku. The House of Representatives Joint Committees on Petroleum Upstream and Downstream and Gas Resources on Wednesday summoned the Petroleum Minister, Daisy Alison Madueke, over a looming crisis in the sector. Others summoned were the Group Managing Director of the National Nigerian Petroleum Corporation, Joseph Daha, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, and the leadership of Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. This was contained in a statement jointly signed by the chairman, Petroleum Upstream, Moraina Ajibola, Petroleum Downstream, Dakuku Peterside, and Chairman Gas Resources, Basi Ewa. The summons was due to the looming crisis in the oil and gas sector in the country. However, the Minister of Petroleum Resources, the affected unions and relevant stakeholders in the sector have been invited to a meeting on Thursday, the 18th September 2014 at 11 a.m. at the House of Representatives. As part of efforts to boost regional cooperation, ECOWAS, in collaboration with the United States Agency for International Development, will be launching a $31 million trade hub project. The project, according to the ECOWAS statement, is aimed at assisting farmers and firms in West Africa to improve their competitiveness, attract investments, and increase trade in regional and global markets. The project will run for 3 years, is designed to consolidate the value chains and market information systems. Also, 2 additional components valued at $23.6 million will be provided to strengthen existing strategies objectives agreement between ECOWAS and United States Agency for International Development, especially in the area of regional stability. The revised agreement is to be signed by ECOWAS President Kadri Ouedraogo on Thursday at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. The Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Habib Abdullahi, has assured Nigerians of his administration commitment to provide the best of services which will not only benefit Nigerians but help boost the country's economy. He made the statement at the official launch of the Electronic Ship Entry Notice, ESEN, at Lagos Event Center. Omotayo Alo has the details.
As the Nigerian Port Authority launches an electronic ship entry notice, which was in response to delivering better port services to Nigerians, it was also a time for the Habib Abdullahi administration to evaluate its stewardship to Nigerians in the space of 2 years. Stating the benefits of the electronic ship entry notice innovation, the management of the Nigerian Port Authority says it will revolutionize the quality of service they have to offer.
We believe that once we automate the process, they can log onto our portal, fill in their details, and will immediately know and then be able to make arrangements to accommodate them at the berth. So it shortens the process and therefore it shortens the turnaround time of vessels, which means higher efficiency and probably higher revenue.
Going to facilitate the turnaround time, as well as making sure that all payments are made and therefore quicker and better way of doing business. So by doing that, it's going to increase our international trade and of course port efficiency.
This development receives the nod of a player in the Nigerian maritime service sector.
I think that one will really eliminate the delay in the processing of the ship entering into Nigeria territorial water, because by the time we have it manually, it takes a lot of time, you know, the human factor there. All those one is going to be eliminated by this innovation.
The development may have positioned the Nigerian Port Authority on the ladder of improving services to meet international standards. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
And on the stock market report, equity transaction on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a very slight positive note today. The all shares index appreciated by 0.20% to close at 40,729.49 basis points. Market capitalization increased and closes at 13.45 trillion naira, and all a total of 195 million shares valued at 2.8 billion naira were exchanged in 4,876 deals. Report shows that WAPCO PLC topped the gainers chart, followed by Dangote Cement, Presco, Nigerian Brewers, and Nestle PLC. On the other hand, Total Oil topped the losers chart, followed by Forty Oil, Corn Oil, Guinness, and UACN. Meanwhile, here are the top 5 trades. And that's it on business news. Nifemi Ogunte will be back with the rest of the news. Stay with us.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball storming, no, he takes Puyol with a flying
On sports tonight, the league management company LMSC says the 2013-2014 Nigerian Professional Football League (NPFL) season will now end on November 9 as against the initial November 23. Saliu Abubakar, the chief operating officer of the LMSC, said the resumption of league action after a two-week boycott by the referees had brought a tight schedule for the clubs as well as the LMC. Abubakar added that the boycott had given players the opportunity to rest, stressing that the LMC is going to have a tough time organizing the matches and going forward. And now to results from some UEFA Champions League games played earlier this evening. Bayern Munich picked maximum 3 points at the Aries Arena, beating Manchester City 1-0. Ajax drew at home with PSG 1 apiece, and was the same result for Chelsea and Schalke 04 playing 1-1 at the Stamford Bridge. FC Porto was in brilliant form, beating Bate with 6 unreplied goals at home. Barcelona continued in its winning streak, beating Apio Nicosia 1-0. Maribor was Maribor 1 and Sporting Lisbon 1, Roma 5 and CSK Moscow 1, and Atletico Bilbao 0, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. European treaty aimed at tackling match fixing in football is to be introduced. Sport ministers from across Europe will meet in Switzerland on Thursday to announce the pact, which contains a series of measures. An alert system triggered by suspicious bets will be set up, and international cooperation will be improved. Protection from whistleblowers will also be strengthened, while offending bookmakers may have cash flows blocked. The England Football Association has sent out its first draft of proposals to reduce the number of non-EU players within English football by up to 50%. The FA England Commission earlier this year called for wholesale reform in the belief that too many foreign players were being bought by clubs. Proposed rule changes have been sent to the league, the Football League, and the players and managers unions. The FA hopes a new system can be in place for the 2015-2016 season. And now to tennis. The Davis Cup will remain an annual tournament despite persistent complaints from some players that it overburdens an already crowded schedule. The head of the sports governing body said on Tuesday. Earlier this year, Czech double Davis Cup champion Thomas Berdych bemoaned the event's detrimental effect on his individual career and called for it to be a biennial event like golf's Ryder Cup. Other top players have suggested replacing it altogether. And now to other stories. Ukraine Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk says the country will screen 1 million civil servants for loyalty to the new government. The parliament passed a new law on Tuesday allowing the vetting of government officials and the removal of corrupt officials. Yatsenyuk says all departments who worked under previous President Viktor Yanukovych would be vetted. Ukraine has had months of unrest since Yanukovych was ousted in February. Government troops had been fighting pro-Russian separatists in the east for months until a truce was signed on 5th September. Yatsenyuk made this declaration in a televised cabinet meeting, saying 1 million civil servants of different kinds would come under this law, including the whole cabinet of ministers, the Interior Ministry, the Intelligence Services, and the Prosecutor's Office. Correspondents say the issues of vetting and corruption are emotional subjects for many in Ukraine who want to cleanse the government of Mr. Yanukovych's influence. On Tuesday, MP Vitaly Shuravisky, who belongs to a party described as pro-Russian, was thrown by angry crowds into a bin outside the parliament. Both sides in the Scottish referendum campaign have held rallies as they make their final efforts to win over undecided voters. Independent supporters attended a massive event in the centre of Glasgow where they were urged to vote yes for a prosperous Scotland. At the same time, pro-UK campaigners gathered nearby to insist the case for independence had not been made. The latest polls have suggested the result is too close to call. Polls were released by Opinion for the Daily Telegraph, another by ICM for the Scotsman, and a third by Salvation for the Daily Mail on Tuesday evening. With undecided voters excluded, they all suggested that a lead for no of 52 to 48, and meanwhile, Better Together head Alista Darling urged anyone who had doubts about independence to vote no. Addressing supporters alongside former Prime Minister Gordon Brown at a Love Scotland Vote No rally, he said if you have such a momentous decision to take, you need to have certainty. On the final day of campaigning, First Minister Alex Salmond published a letter to the people of Scotland in which he told them they will hold power in their hands as they vote to determine their country's future. Salmond asked voters to step back from the political arguments and statistics that have defined the two-year campaign and trust in themselves as they go into the polling booth. And that's been the show tonight on CoreTV News. Thank you for watching. I am Nifemi Okuntoye. Thanks for being there.